First, let's talk about the good girl conditioning. And this starts from childhood and goes into adulthood. So I mentioned before the number 80%, right? Why do 80% of women struggle with low self-esteem in the workplace? And this is a statistics that has been proven multiple times. From a young age, let's talk about the cultural part of this. From a young age, girls are praised for being helpful, for being quiet, for being diligent, for being accommodating. While what are boys praised for and encouraged to do? To be assertive, right? To stand up for yourself, be assertive, to take risks, to promote themselves, right? Self-promotion. And again, these aren't necessarily explicit, like we're telling our boys, go promote yourself, but this is the narrative, right? This conditioning teaches women that approval comes from being good and doing enough, right? Rather than simply being enough, right? So let's talk about the psychological impact of this. This creates this subconscious good girl syndrome. And you've probably heard that before. I had an episode, one of my first, I don't know, probably 15 episodes. I had an episode where we talked about this a little bit. We didn't unpack it fully, but we had a little conversation about it. But the good girl syndrome. This is where a woman internalizes this belief that her value is dependent on how much she achieves and contributes to others. That is her value, and that is the only thing that brings her value, right? The belief, I'm going to say it again. I want you to hear me out. This is important. This good girl syndrome that we carry into adulthood with us is this internalized belief that a woman, her value is dependent on how much she achieves and how much she contributes to others, right? It's about external things and not this internal about being enough. So, how does this show up in adulthood?